Hello everybody, Jamie the Board Game Man, and today we're looking at a game from the year 2017. It is a 2 to 4 player game, and it is called King Domino. Now this game won the Spiel des Jahres Game of the Year back in 2017. It takes about 15-20 minutes to play. Now in this game what you're doing is you're laying down dominoes in your kingdom. And how you have to lay these dominoes is pretty important. Just like in regular dominoes, when you lay down like a 4 and a 5, you got to lay down either a 4 and 5 on that same side. This is the same kind of deal. We have 4 different terrains that are involved, and what you do is you have to lay one of those dominoes next to that similar terrain. And what scores points is some of the dominoes have little crowns on them, and depending on how many of the squares of that terrain you have, times the number of crowns you have in that area, that's how you score points. It's a 5x5 grid that you have to make around your kingdom. The castle does not have to be in the direct middle, but as long as you make a 5x5 grid, you are good to go. You score your points, and whoever has the most points wins the game. So let's head on over to the gamers table, where I'm going to show you how to play King Domino. Three, two, one. All right, everybody, here we are at the gaming table with King Domino. Let's go ahead and take a look at the components, and then I'll show you the setup and then how to play, of course. As you can see, you have 2 kings for each one of your colors. You have your little castle, and you also have your home spot, which looks just like this. You're going to go ahead and put them with the corresponding colors. If you have a 3 or 4 player game, then you're only going to play with one of these kings. But say you have a 2-player game, then what you would do is you would take these out, and you would actually use both kings, okay? You also have 48 tiles that are numbered 1 to 48, as you can see right here. All right, they're all numbered 1 to 48, and you would actually mix these up, put them back in there, and depending on how many players you have in the game, depends on how many tiles you have in the game. So, for instance, if you have a 4-player game, you will use all 48 tiles. If you have a 3-player game, you're going to go ahead and remove 12. And if you have a 2-player game, you're going to remove half of them. So you're going to remove 24 of the tiles. All right, the object of the game is you're trying to get the most points. And how you do that is you lay these dominoes down next to each other as you build your fortress. The biggest that you can make your fortress is a 5x5 grid. That's as big as you can make your fortress. Now, there is a variant where you can actually do a 7x7 grid. It's a 2-player game, and you actually use all instead of just half. But in this game, what I'm going to show you is a 3. I'll begin to show you how to play. So let's go ahead and get this set up right now. Okay, so we're going to have this set up as a 2-player game. So you have green versus blue. I went ahead and took out half the tiles. Now we just have 24 of the tiles sitting in here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have each player have 2 kings in this instance. Now, like I said, in the 3-player game, you're going to have 1 of each. In a 4-player game, the same way. You'll have 1 king each. But in a 2-player game, you need 2. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to go ahead and lay out 4 tiles right in front. You're going to grab the first 4. And you're going to go ahead and choose somebody to be the tile person that will lay down these tiles. Now, the very first play, it does not matter what these numbers are. It really doesn't. And you're going to go ahead and lay these tiles out like so. Okay? Just like this. Okay? Now what you're going to do, I'm sorry, I should say dominoes, I should say. And then you're going to take all 4 of these. You're going to shake them up in your hand. And you're going to blindly just choose blue. So blue gets to choose which tile they want to start off with. Let's just say blue wants to go ahead and start off with this one here. Okay? All right, now we're going to shake this up again. And it's going to be blue again. So blue gets to choose again which one he wants to choose. He's going to go ahead and choose this one. That means green will have this one and this one. Now what you're going to do, I'm going to spread these out a little bit because we're going to lay dominoes next to these, is you're going to go ahead and take out 4 more, but this time you're going to look at the numbers and you're going to put them in numerical order. So in this case, 8 will be the top one. All right. You're going to look at the next highest, which is 25. Next highest, 34. Next highest, 36. Okay. That's how you're going to do that. Now, green gets to go first here because he gets the top tile. So he gets to go ahead and lay down his domino first, and then he's going to choose which one of these he wants to choose first. So he's going to go ahead and take his green king, and he's going to go ahead and place it. Let's say he's going to go right over here. He's going to choose this one. Now he's going to take this domino. This is the green castle here, and he gets to place this anywhere against his castle. Now, when you're placing your domino next to the castle, it's pretty much wild. You can use whatever terrain you want. Now, there are 4 different terrains that you can see here. You have mines, you have wasteland, you have wheat, you have the forest, and then you have this light green area, which for life of me, I don't remember what that is. But anyhow, it might be fields, I believe it is, but don't quote me on that. And so you have about 5 different ones you can choose from. You got the water as well. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this right here. Okay, so green goes ahead and does that. And now it's the next turn is the blue turn. Blue is going to go ahead and take this, and they're going to decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this one here. So blue goes in and take this. He's going to go ahead and take this tile and maybe place it just like so. Now, like I said in the intro, you're trying to do a 5x5 grid. You might have some openings in there, you might not. It depends on how you lay down your dominoes. And you try not to have any open spaces because then that possibly could take points away from you. All right, so now blue is next again. They chose the 3rd domino, so they're going to go ahead and go over here. And they're going to go ahead and choose, let's see, we're going to choose this one, okay? So now blue's going to go ahead and lay this anywhere that they like. They can do this if they want, as long as one of the dominoes matches. So you can go something like this, all right? You can go something, let me move these over a little bit. I know it's a little crowded here. You could do something like this. Or it could go completely different and go over here and still use the outside of his castle. Either way. But these 2 match. So you definitely want these next to each other. He's going to go ahead and do this. All right? Which is totally legal. All right? Now green's going to go ahead and pick up their tile. They're going to automatically choose this one. And he's going to go ahead and lay this. Since none of these match, he's going to go ahead and do this like so. Okay? Alrighty. Because as long as one of these is a wild, so you can still put this next to this one because this one's still legal there. As long as one of the tiles is legal, you can lay it however you want. Okay. Now, then it goes again where you're going to go ahead and slide these over. All right. And now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to grab these 4 tiles here. You're going to look by number, and the 17 will go on top. Then you got 21, 23, and 27. You lay it down just like so. Green goes first this time because he has the top tile. So sometimes you want to keep that in mind when you might want to go first next time if you're going to pick that top tile. But sometimes that top tile is probably not the best tile because the lower the number, the least likely they're going to have, a lot of points. Or the higher tiles have these little crowns on them. I'm going to go over that right now, as a matter of fact. Let's go ahead and go over this. What you're trying to do is you're trying to match as many of these same terrains next to each other as you can. Because let me go ahead and show you an example here. If you were to take these 3 here, let's go do another example here. I'm going to go ahead and show you an example. Okay, let's do this. So let's just say these are our 3 tiles right here, which is still legal because we have 4. So you can only do 1 more row to go. Let me go ahead and show you. Now you know how this works here, where you take a tile and then you choose one and then the next person and so on. That's how that works, and then you put it in numerical order down these sides here. That's how you do this. Now I'm going to go over the scoring here. So you see this one right here, he's got 2 of the same terrain here. This is the wheat fields here. He's got 2 that are next to each other with 1 crown. So what you do is you're going to multiply the amount of these spaces here that are the same times the amount of crowns. So he has 2 yellows here, but he has 1 crown. That's going to be 2 points. Now say he added later on, he added this here. Let's see. Let's say he did this like so. Now he has 3 yellows next to each other times the 1. So now this section right here is worth 3 points. Now if you were to continue like this, then yes, you guessed right. It would be 4 points. Okay. And if he did this, okay, now all of a sudden he has 5 yellows and now he has 2 crowns. So now this section all of a sudden is now worth 10 points. Same with this area here. He's got 3 of the wastelands here. But look at this. He has 2 crowns here and 2 crowns here. So 3 times the 4 is 12 points. So it's pretty crazy. You only have 3 here versus the 5, but he has more crowns. All right. These 2 here are light green. He's got 2, and then he's got 1 crown. This is worth 2 points. This one's all by itself, but there's no crowns, so there is no points. So say you had a couple of the mines that are around there, but you don't have any crowns, they're not worth any points. So you want to keep that in mind. You might have a bunch of the same terrain around, but you might not get any points. Like say, for instance, if this was the case, say you had something like this, and then you had something like this. Well, unfortunately, yeah, you have 3 next to each other, but there's no crowns there. So these are not worth any points unless you can manage to get a green one to connect there. Now it's worth 4 times the 1 is 4 points. Okay? Like I said, you're going to keep adding these dominoes. You always have to match at least one of the sides of the domino with the same color. If you cannot, see, it gets later on in the game and the tiles are running out and you can't fit a domino in there. You just, I mean, there's nothing matching it, then you must discard it. And that's when you get little holes in your 5x5 grid, and you're trying not to do that. Even though it doesn't go against you, there's no points to go against you, but that's, a wasted domino that you have a chance to score any points on. So you would simply discard it if you cannot use it, okay? Once all the tiles have been laid down, that's when you're going to go ahead and score all your points. And like, for instance, in this one here, he would have 1 point here because this one's by itself. This one's 1 point here because it's by itself. You don't get any points for this. You wouldn't get any points, or actually you have 4 points here. And then you would get the 4 times 3 here, which would be 12 points. But then you would also get 3 points for these 3, because you have a crown here and these 3 are next to each other. You would add up all those points. Everybody adds up their points, and whoever has the most points at the end of their 5x5 grid wins the game. And if there is a tie, let's just say you went through all the points and you guys actually have a tie, whoever has the biggest terrain would win. So let's just say this player over here had maybe 3 at the most, like they maybe have 3 yellows as the biggest terrain, but this player has 4 of the same terrain, then he would end up being the winner. It's whoever has the most terrain, or the biggest terrain spot, would actually break the tiebreaker. And that, my friends, is King Domino. So let's head on over to the game room, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on King Domino. I do enjoy this game quite a bit. It is on BGA, so I do play it from time to time on there. And it can get kind of tough at times. Sometimes a domino will land where you're like, I can't use any of those. But you have to still choose one, and then you just have to forfeit that domino. So you might have holes in your kingdom, but that doesn't mean you're not going to win. Because it depends. You can have a bunch of crowns in certain areas, and you can still pull off a victory even if you might have 1 or 2 holes. So it's really intense when every round when you pull those 4 tiles and you're seeing what they are, and then you're going, I really want that tile. I really want that tile. But everyone can see what you have going. So someone can play defense, take that tile from you, or just play offense, not even pay attention to what everybody else has. So there's different ways to play the game, and I think it's great. I think a lot of players, it's an easy game to teach. Kids can do, I think it's 8 and up, I think. Yeah, ages 8 and up. I don't think I said that in the intro. And, I think a lot of kids will enjoy this game too. And adults. It's a fun, quick little game. Like I said, 15, 20 minutes, and you are good. So, I definitely want to give it a thumbs up. I can see why it won the Game of the Year that year. It's a great little game. It is a lot of fun. Check it out if you don't have it. There is a sequel to it, which is Queen Domino, which for the life of me, I don't remember if I have or not. I'm going to have to look up and see if I even have Queen Domino. I don't even know if I haven't played it. So I need to find out if I have it, figure out if I can find it somewhere, and then hopefully I can show that on the channel too. So, well, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support as always. That was my review of King Domino. And until next time, everybody, happy gaming.